One of the hardest things to learn is a new programming language. Methods have varied. However, if the subject is confronted with a learning science methodology, programming languages can be learned more efficiently. The field of learning sciences studies teaching and learning. The sciences of learning include cognitive science, educational psychology, computer science, anthropology, sociology, neuroscience, and any other adaptive fields. Learning sciences involves representation, reflection, problem solving, in an effort to attain a higher level of critical thinking. One of the key aspects to the learning sciences is learner-centered design. Learner-centered design brings into play guided learner adaptable scaffolding. Scaffolding is a term that can be either supportive or reflective, and scaffolding aids the learner to get through the situations they find themselves in and actually come away with deeper thinking knowledge about the subject they are learning. In order to fully investigate this ideal of scaffolding, we are going to apply it to learning a programming language. In regards to scaffolding being applied to a programming language, you would use supportive scaffolding. This will include terms that are defined and highlighted, the origin of these terms, and other artifacts, including terms documentations, examples of use, and best programming practices. One of the most difficult aspects of programming is not so much the actual programming itself, as much as it is the understanding of a term called programming logic. Programming logic is the method by which a person would go through to actually create a functional program in any language. A beginning step to understanding programming logic would be to become accustomed to the common used terms and functions for the language you are learning. Understanding this language would involve knowing the history of usage, from binary to C languages, and to be able to recognize it in demonstrated usage. A few ways that the common use terms and functions can be correlated into understandable language would be to incorporate things like flashcards, flowcharts, and diagrams that would aid the student in charting the methods that these programming terms represent. The best usage for the programming flashcards method would be to have students arrange in groups and use cards to structure a function. Other methods of scaffolding include the usage of flowcharts and diagrams. Both can be crucial in mapping the path of a program. and to aid in future debugging. All of these methods can be incorporated for usage for reflective thoughts and for social interactions. Both have been known to be crucial keys to deeper learning. These methods of scaffolding can be left in place for as long as they are necessary. Some may be seen as being temporary scaffolding to be removed as soon as students have adjusted to this method of learning, or they can be left in place as permanent scaffolding so that students can always ensure that their work is of a high level. To make these methods of scaffolding as beneficial as possible, instructors should also mandate reflection periods. These reflection periods can include aspects such as students determining what they have learned for the day. Can incorporate student design groups. Students can work together to figure out the best method to a programming solution. Students should develop program framework. Use lists to structure programs on paper with written descriptions of what each line of code does. Programs should be created outside of the program compiler. Instead, they should introduce these methods to other students, where together they can determine what is the best solution. This way, they can later incorporate this into the compiler, and students can create a journal or log, cataloging where they normally don't succeed. Also, worksheets can be incorporated, where students are providing the task, the solution, and steps to the process, and then later match functions to the common